Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming at you with another Wargaming and Miniature video. And in today's video, we are going to continue on with our store news update. I'm going to keep you updated on what's going on with my studio, what's going on with my store, my projects. It's an overall update, but with the focus on my eBay store. All right, so if you've never come to any of these videos, what I do is I take about 15 minutes just to go over, what's going on. And we like to touch on like what kind of supplies I've gotten in for my projects, like paint or brushes or things like that. But also for the store, like boxes, tape, shipping labels, who knows what. We talk about what I finished, like what I've been working on and have completed, and we talk about that. And then we also talk about what I'm currently working on, and like what's on my workbench or what I have planned to work on my table. And we also talk about what kind of product I've got in for the store, like anything new or exciting that I've added to my inventory. And finally, we talk about the news. If I have any news or anything to share with you, we talk about that as well. All right, so the first thing we want to talk about is supplies. Like what kind of supplies have I gotten in over the last, and usually this is only over the last week or two, depending on how often these videos come out. What kind of supplies have I gotten in? None. I didn't order any paint. I haven't ordered any. I thought about ordering some Mod Podge for the terrain projects that I've been working on, but I realized I already have quite a bit of Mod Podge. Plus, the shipping was almost as much as buying the Mod Podge itself. So I decided against it. If I need any, I can just go to my local store or whatever. But we didn't. I haven't gotten any supplies in. I don't need anything in. I'm pretty content with all my paint and brushes and everything else. So haven't gotten any supplies in. Boxes, tape, packaging material, bubble wrap. It's all good. All right. What have I finished? Well, I finished a bunch of terrain this last week for Meg. 15 millimeter Meg, Mortem et Gloriam. Terrain. So I built like crops and fields and plowed fields and woods, forest, hills, mountains, a marsh, a lake, working on a brush and a Roman, finished a Roman village, going to be working on the Gaelic village soon. But what I finished, bunch of terrain. I also finished the German-Russian commission. That's finished and already sent out. Now, products. What kind of products have I got in? Well, I have a bunch of tank sprues and anti-tank guns sprues from Flames of War. I've got some Tigers, some Panzer 3s, some Panzer 3Ms actually, some a Russian light tank. I'm not sure what it is, BT-10 maybe, I don't know, and T-34s, some anti-tank guns. Panzer IVs. Yeah, I got a stack of sprues that I'm going to be selling as sprues. They're going to be added to my sprue collection. And that's pretty much the only product that I got in that I'm going to sell. Everything else is pretty straight and narrow. That's what I'm going to do. Now, what am I currently working on? Well, I'm working on my Marian Romans. I have completed putting all the decals on one of my legions, 28 figures. And so it's ready to be painted. But what I want to do is just go ahead and go through all my decals and decal all the legions first. I already know that's what I want to do. I want to decal all the legions first, and then I'll go in and I'll paint the legions. But those are on the shelf over there on pause right now. But I did finish the decals on one of the Romans. But what I really need to do is work on my commissions, because I've got a number of commissions in the queue, and the one I'm working on right now is on the table right next to me, which is German SS. The same customer has another pack that he sent me of German anti-tank guns that he wants them painted as regular hair, just regular regulars, not SS. And so I've been keeping those separate because I didn't want the figures to get intermixed or whatever. But what I'm going to do is, once I get these cleaned and ready to go, ready to be primed, I'm going to go ahead and pull those out, clean those, get those on sticks as well. And then I'm going to be able to paint all the SS and the hair probably at the same time and get those shipped out to him. So that's currently what I'm working on, is the SS. I'm also working on building a Gaul village, right? Because I had the Roman town, which can be used just as a town when you lay out terrain. If you need to pick a town, boom, you got a town. It's just that I'm using Roman buildings on the town. And I think it turned out really well. And we got more on that in just a second. And plus, I'm going to do this Gaelic, Germanic village, right? And it's going to have a couple of huts and some animal pens. And that's currently what I'm working on right now, is the Gaelic village. There's going to be a big difference between the Roman town and the Gaelic village, and I'll explain that here when I'm making those. All right, now I'm also going to be doing a video. I'm going to lay out, basically, even before the village is finished, I'm going to lay out a bunch of terrain on the table, and we're going to do some close-ups of all the pieces of terrain as a video, just as a terrain highlight. You know how a lot of wargamers will lay out all their troops, like their Republican Romans. They'd lay out them, and then they'd show off all the Republican Romans, and then they might put out their Germanic, and then they would show, this is the Germanic army I built up over the years, or whatever. Well, I'm going to do something similar to that, but it's going to be terrain focused. It's going to be specifically focused on the pieces of terrain that I've got built so far. I actually read somewhere, this is a while back, where, and I don't fully agree with it, but let me tell you what I read. I read that you should spend as much time on your terrain as you do your figures, because, like, you'll paint all the, hypothetically, let's say you paint this beautiful Warhammer 40k Space Marine army, and you've got all the, like, Terminators and you got Dreadnoughts and assault troops, and you got it all, right? And they're all beautifully painted. But then you ask your buddy to come over and you want to play a game, and you put a piece of styrofoam in the center of the table and say it's a bunker. That ruins the game, right? Or you lay out, or you're playing on a tabletop with no cover. You're just like a varnished wood coffee table, and that's what you're playing on. That's you gotta invest some time in your terrain. You gotta build some buildings, maybe some trees, some walls, some rubble, whatever. But you got to put some effort into that to justify painting your army, right? So, but the part I disagree with is an equal amount of time. I actually subscribe to a theory that, and this is my philosophy. For every army you paint, do at least one piece of terrain, right? So if you're painting a Napoleonic French army, make a building. If you're doing a Napoleonic British army, add some roads. If you're gonna do a Republican Roman army, make a hill or two. If you're gonna do a Germanic army, do a forest or two. So basically, as you build up your armies, you're also building up your collection of terrain. And so, but if you are very focused, let's say you only play Warhammer, right? Warhammer Fantasy, and you only play High Elves, and you don't play anything else. Well, in that case, you should build, 4 or 5 pieces of terrain that would look good on the table. You should. And then maybe your buddy, he's got an army of orcs, and maybe he's got some terrain, and you guys can combine. Or you play at a games store as part of a club or something, and you share terrain with everyone. But terrain is, I'm going to say, probably a quarter of the hobby. You've got to build some terrain. And that's that, even when you're role-playing, right? I role-play, whenever I role-play on the table, I use miniatures. And it doesn't look good if your miniature is sitting on the middle of the table and there's no like trees or hedges or anything around it. I understand a lot of people will use battle maps and it'll be like printed on the map, and that's okay. But if you actually built up some hedges and added some 3-dimensional trees, you would really, it would make everything else so much more exciting. So you don't be surprised that terrain really adds something to your game. Now, I know I've been going on a lot about this, but I've been working a lot on 15 millimeter terrain, and I've also been working on terrain that can be multi-genre. Like a patch of woods, hell, I can play that with Napoleonics. I can use that with my Romans. I can use that with my Space Marines. I can use that with my Undead Army. So woods works for everything, right? And then same thing with like hedges and walls. But now when you start getting into buildings, the buildings tend to be era specific. You're right. You got medieval buildings, you got skyscrapers, so depending on how you want to put it together or whatever. Okay, so what my point is, I'm going to be, as part of what I'm working on, I am going to be, and probably tonight, I'm going to clear off my table and lay out all the terrain that I've done and kind of do a highlight, a spotlight, if you will, on those pieces of terrain. So look forward to that video coming out in the next day or two. Also, we have a sale going on at Wargaming and Miniature on eBay. Go to eBay, go to Wargaming and Miniature, and you'll find that I've got a buy more, save more sale going on, which means the more items that you pick that are 28 millimeter focused, you'll get a discount on those. If you buy 1, no discount. If you buy 2, you get 5% off, both. And if you buy 3, it's 10% off the entire order. And if you get like 3 items or 4 items, I don't remember what it is, but it's up to 15% off, and it's already marked down items. So the markdown plus the additional savings. Now, if you've never shopped on eBay, or if you're unfamiliar with how to get this discount or whatever, because don't just click on buy it now and then pay for it, and then go to the next item and hit buy it now and pay for it. Because what you're doing is you're making 2 orders with 1 item, and so there's no discount. But if you add to invoice, or add to, what do they call it, shopping cart or whatever, you add to your cart all the items you want, and then you pay for the cart, you'll get the discount, because the cart will be able to tell you, oh, you got 15 items and 28 millimeter. Okay, you get the 15% off or whatever. So, yeah, so don't, and plus it'll bundle the items in one order so that I can combine shipping. I've noticed that, I noticed this a couple of times. I would have two orders going to the same customer, and I would try to, and normally eBay automatically combines them, or maybe not. Maybe that was because those other customers had put it in a cart. But I try combining the 2 orders under one shipping, and eBay doesn't allow it. So what I wind up doing is I ship one with the combined weight, and then I just mark the second one as shipped. So, because I will combine it, and then I'll send you a refund, whatever the savings was for combining the shipment. So, yeah, if you overpay for shipping because of items, just message me. Hey, if you would, please combine these or whatever, and I'd be glad to do that. I try to do that anyway. It just saves me in boxes, and it saves shipping costs too, because packaging material, boxes, stuff like that. And then I can take the combined weight, and which is almost always cheaper than 2 separate. So like 10 ounces and 10 ounces will get you, I'm just going to I don't know, 7 and 7, right? And then, but if you combine it and you get 20 ounces, it might be 10, right? So instead of 14, it's 10, and I'll send you the $4 discount. So yeah, use the cart, combine your orders, then pay. And that way you get the discount from my sale, which lasts until the 8th of November. And then at what point I'm going to create a new sale. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to make sure that there's a new sale that goes till the 1st of the year. It'll basically be my big Christmas sale. I don't know what it's going to be. Probably not 15% off of, items. I don't know. I don't know. It might be 100% off. Who knows? But yeah, so that's basically it. I'm going to add a bunch of sprues. Okay, let's recap. No supplies. I worked on a bunch of terrain, specifically the Roman town. I even did a Roman town video where I showed how I constructed my Roman town. I have some sprues that I still need to take some photos of to add to my eBay store. And they're all Flames of War, World War II 15 millimeter tanks. And then I'm working on the Marian Romans by just adding decals right now. I've got the German SS Commission that I'm working on, and I'm working on a Gaelic village, and a video for all the terrain pieces as kind of a spotlight to catch you up where I'm at. And then the news is I've got a sale going on right now. There's other news like the Napoleonic sale from Old Glory. They've got an additional 10% off if you order any Napoleonic figures directly from the Old Glory website, which that sale lasts until October 27th. I probably should get in on that a little bit so I can save an additional 10%. But I'm pretty fully stocked personally on Napoleonics. Any Napoleonics that I order would be for the store, right? To just add to the store, which I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. And Victrix has a sale right now called the Battle of Hastings and Stamford Bridge. You get an additional, well, Normans, Saxons, and Vikings, you get 20% off. Oh, wait a second. I'm looking at the Normans, Vikings, and Saxons. Almost everything is sold out. Yikes. Well, that sale worked really well for them, I guess. There's still a Anglo-Saxon Danes, a skirmish pack for both Normans and Anglo-Saxons. Those are all, oh wait, and the Huscarls. Those are all still available. Wait, Norman infantry, still available. And the Norman infantry looks really good. I'm really impressed with the looks of the Norman infantry. All right, and that is our news update for this 23rd. It's actually very close to the 24th, so this is probably going to be uploaded on Tuesday, the 24th. All right, guys. I look forward to talking to you next week. Be sure to check out our live streams that we have from time to time called Wargaming Weekly. What I try to do is once a week, I try to do a live stream where I paint or build or do something on stream while you guys get to interact with me and chat and stuff like that. So look for that, and also look for this Gaelic Village video. I'm planning on building it on camera and then uploading the how I built the Gaelic Village, and look forward to the terrain video. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next video.